What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and down two more playoff games in this wild card playoff aftermath. I'm telling y'all, this was one of those ones where we saw a really good game. We saw one really good game and two kind of subpar games. So I'll start with the first, Buffalo and Denver. Buffalo had a very easy game. Denver didn't do anything that needed to be done to act like they wanted to win a playoff game, and it showed very, very extensively. It was one of the worst showings we could have seen in a playoff thing. Sean Payton has shown that since he's come back to the NFL, that he, without a shadow of a doubt, has not been able to understand situational awareness. He doesn't have it anymore. I mean, to sit up there and basically have zero run game and expect for your rookie quarterback to throw as much as he had to against a Buffalo defense that was actually playing kind of well. Not only that, this game was never out of reach. I mean, you're talking about going into the fourth quarter, the game was only 21-7. And the fact that Sean Payton had the audacity to scream at Vance Joseph like Vance Joseph's defense wasn't on the field almost the entire game. Sean Payton was terrible in this game. He coached an awful offensive game today. And to see him sit up there and act like Vance Joseph was the problem and he just going off on everybody else didn't make any sense in the world. Your offense stank today. Your offense was awful today. And the only person you can fault for that is yourself. Buffalo sat up there, and like I said, they had an easy day. They had an easy day. In all honesty, they really had an easy day. What we're seeing in these playoffs is that the running game is what matters the most. This is, again, with the Buffalo game you're talking about, we saw in the Buffalo game that they were running the ball. They ran the ball when they felt like it. They threw when they felt like it. And for a lot of y'all who there was all this talk about Josh Allen didn't have receivers and things of that such nature. For y'all who've never followed Curtis Samuel back when he was with Carolina and back when he was with Washington, y'all don't know how good this guy actually is. Understand, he was the number 2 receiver in Washington. So understand that is something that people need to get out of their mind, that Josh Allen didn't have help. Just like the argument of Lamar Jackson had Derrick Henry, Josh Allen had James Cook the entire season. Like that, James Cook is not a slouch of a running back. James Cook went over 100 yards today. So, I mean, again, Buffalo had an easy game. This was an easy out for Buffalo because even as they were playing, you just saw that they were like at ease on the sideline. There was no real concern about the possibility of losing this game. They gave up the one touchdown, and then that was pretty much it. The scoring pretty much stopped, and the game was over. It was done. You know, it was just one of those games. Again, they had an easy route. That was an easy game for them. Buffalo takes down the Denver Broncos in a game where, again, Sean Payton is completely at fault in this game. Like I said, for him to have shown his behind on that sideline screaming at Vance Joseph like Vance Joseph's defense wasn't on the field the entire game. The entirety of the game. Vance Joseph's defense was on the field almost the entirety of the game. And Sean Payton didn't dial up anything on offense to sit up there and make Buffalo play any type of real defense. Nothing. Not a thing. And it's sad to watch, especially for the fans of Denver. It's sad to watch your team not even go out there and have effort when it came to that. Like, that was not right and that was not fair, especially for a playoff game. I tell you, man, that was some sad stuff. The second game, I think I said 3, but it's only 2. The second game, Philadelphia takes down the Green Bay Packers. And what this weekend, in this playoff weekend, which has been technically the only real playoff game, but again, we saw Philadelphia use the run game to sit up there and take advantage of Green Bay, but Green Bay kept this close. Green Bay's defense really came up to play. The offense, Jordan Love did not look good. Threw 2 costly interceptions in the first half of the game, and just the offense just did not seem like it was on time. Josh Jacobs couldn't get much done. Set up there, had a very good long touchdown, but they weren't running the ball as much as they should have. And the Philadelphia Eagles just taking advantage of that. They were basically teeing in on Jordan Love, and they were just rushing the passer the whole game. It was so crazy that they went away from the run game so early on with Green Bay. And the fact that Jordan Love just didn't seem comfortable at all in this game. And not only that, Green Bay, for all the fans of Green Bay, man, that had to be heartbreaking. Green Bay had injury after injury after injury after injury. I mean, their offense, at the very beginning of the game, their starting left tackle goes out. Jenkins goes out. With what when you look at the thing, it looked like it might have just been a stinger, but it was clearly worse than what it was. Then all of a sudden, Dobbs, who's going up for a big pass, he goes out. Then you had Jaden Reed, he goes out. Then you have their center, he goes out. So they had a lot of injuries that was happening. They were switching offensive tackles in mid game. They were switching offensive tackles. So it was just not Green Bay's day. They had a very hard time in this game, and it's sad. It was sad. They went down 22-10. Again, it was a game that in all honesty, it didn't get out of hand until later in the game when everybody just started going down. Of course, we saw on the sideline Mr. Pouty, A.J. Brown, because he only got 1 catch. And so they're going to have – Philadelphia is primed to get beat. If Saquon Barkley is not in the game, Philadelphia is primed to get beat because Jalen Hurts didn't look great himself. Jalen Hurts was making plays. He did make some plays, but they were not throwing the ball as often as you would expect for them to throw it. And to be quite honest, this is why I've said that Kellen Moore is not really that great of an offensive coordinator, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your star player is getting the plays to him like he's supposed to. You don't ignore a guy in A.J. Brown who's been your most dangerous offensive weapon for the entirety that he's been in Philadelphia. You don't overlook a guy like that. And the fact that he wasn't as big of a contributor to the game, I'm telling y'all, whoever they see next, there's a chance that Philadelphia can be knocked out of these playoffs very early on. And that would probably be the most devastating thing for a lot of Philly fans, because I mean, from this game, that was not a strong performance. That was not a strong game. I mean, Saquon Barkley did what he did. Y'all have a fantastic offensive line, but when it comes down to it, that style of play is not going to win you big games, because that style of play will get you beat, especially when you think about teams that want to jump up on y'all early and then sit up there and try to force y'all to try to come from behind, which in all honesty, I don't think Philly actually had a lot of games this year where they came from behind and won. So the fact that that is happening and that's something that really went on, there's things that need to be done on the Philadelphia side that if they don't accomplish it, they will in fact get beaten in these playoffs and be packing up and going home in the next round if they don't get it together. Like I said again, but with all that being said, it was the only competitive game this weekend. We saw the Ravens demolish the Pittsburgh Steelers. We saw the Houston Texans absolutely destroy the Chargers, and we saw the Buffalo Bills just sit up there and dismantle the Denver Broncos. This was not a very good showing for teams in the first round, and not only that, it wasn't a good showing for teams did their first time in the first round of the playoffs. Denver looked bad. The Chargers, they didn't make it last year. They made it this year. They look bad. And also the Denver Broncos. The Steelers made it, but they didn't look good at all either. So again, like I said, the only competitive game this weekend when it comes to those 4 games was the Green Bay and Philadelphia game. It's crazy. We got 2 more games left. The Washington game, I'm going to sit down and watch that, and I'll be back. Of course, I'm going to do another video solely for that Washington playoff game. And then we have the game on Monday, which is the Minnesota game, the Minnesota and the Rams. So we'll definitely see how that goes. I mean, Denver fans, y'all tell me how y'all feel about this game. Do y'all feel that Sean Payton did the right thing? Because I felt he was an absolute dummy and he sat up there and just did not bring his A game to this playoffs. And for his answer to be Bo Nix throwing as much as he did and basically having 0 run game or even any type of imagination when it came to, the only thing we saw imaginative was the trick play on the punt. But beyond that, we didn't see any type of imagination when it came to the offense. We didn't see nothing, no end arounds, nothing that would sit up there and really get this offense going and not have to rely on Bo Nix to sit up there and basically be your all-in for this game against Buffalo. Buffalo fans, they had an easy passage. It would have just been fine if Denver just didn't show up for the game. Because if it was going to be that easy, Denver should have just not showed up for the game. Denver fans, y'all tell me how y'all feel. Green Bay fans, tell me how y'all feel to see your team's defense play so well, but then you see the offense just stagnant. Then on top of that, to see the injuries just happen. I'm going to tell y'all, I don't understand for the life of me why Jaden Reed is not the focus of y'all offense. This guy is absolutely phenomenal. Every time he gets the ball, he seems to make a play, and all season, that's all he did. But for some odd reason, they don't want to make him the focal point of the offense. I don't know why. I don't understand. Green Bay fans, y'all let me know. Other than that, this has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fans Sports Show.